Now, another point I want to make is, which you may have already picked up on, is that in these forms we have ordinary men, their view of themselves and their written testimony. Now, the forms are formulaic. You know, you're pushed into a small space, you're expected to express yourself in a particular way. So that's, I'll just go back because that is a rather distracting example at the moment. However, many men wrote well and feelingly in their appeals and in their claims. And we have to remember that elementary education was extremely basic in Northamptonshire. It was one of the worst rural counties for standards of education at elementary education at this time. But despite that, men write well. Ordinary men write really well. The most common fault is a lack of full stops. So the whole thing pours out onto the page, but it's very articulate and very well written. You sometimes get a feeling, particularly with farmers, of physically the kitchen table, the lick pencil, the decision what to write. You know, what did Fred down the road say about his appeal? You get a distinct sense of a process and decisions going on here, and the attempt to persuade. And I really ask myself, where else do we find the writing of ordinary working men? Soldiers' letters, yes, but there is a debate to be had about the value of those. Diaries, ordinary men, especially in the war, rather too busy or too modest to keep diaries. So I find them very precious. They are the equivalent of soldiers' letters, but they're on the home front and they are, of course, uncensored. A man can write whatever he chooses to write on these papers. As well as the forms themselves, the Northamptonshire papers contain supplementary evidence and extras. I've mentioned doctors, certificates, letters. Jim mentioned some of these extras. Business accounts. Sometimes people copy a page of their accounts so that you can see how if the business is profitable or not, and so on. You get petitions from local villages, asking to keep a baker or a butcher. Obviously, these tradesmen, these retailers put these petitions up in their shops or took them round on the milk round or whatever and asked people to sign them. And sometimes in a larger village or small town where there are 2 or 3 butchers and bakers, ordinary people tell you their preference for one butcher or baker. This baker is much better than the other one, the bread is a lot better. So you get these personal appeals coming forward, evidence of the links between these trades and the communities.